Hi, and welcome to the Productized podcast, the go-to show for product managers, founders, and innovators looking to build better products and teams. I'm Pedro Ganço, and this season we're exploring how to innovate in a changing world. Today's episode is a masterclass in navigating the product management journey across different organizational scales, as you'll see in a moment, from startups to global giants. Today's guest, Anya Cheng, is an award-winning product leader who has worked with some of the world's most recognized companies, including Facebook, eBay, and McDonald's. Now, as the founder and CEO of Taelor, an AI-powered clothing on-demand service for men and social media influencers, combines her product expertise with a mission-driven approach. Her accolades are just as impressive. She's been a TEDx speaker, named in Girls in Tech, 40 Under 40, and a mentor at 500 startups. And is here to share insights into product management strategies, gamification in user experience, and team building for startup growth. So you definitely don't want to lose this episode. And whether you're scaling a Series C startup, navigating a large enterprise, or building a product team, today's discussion will be packed with actionable takeaways. So grab your notebook, your favorite productivity app. Let's get started. Anya, welcome to the podcast.
Hello. This is Anya here from Silicon Valley. I help to build Facebook shopping and McDonald's food delivery business globally, in-store kiosks, and also for like eBay's emerging market like Latin America, Africa, Asia. When people buy and sell their chairs and tables, they were all my product. I'm excited to meet so many product managers today.
Okay, super fun. But before I dive in, we usually start with 2 to 3 lights questions before we go into this stuff. And we have 2 or 3 questions for you. The first one we usually ask is, what is your favorite app or tech product that you use at the moment?
You know, as a product manager, it's hard to have a favorite product because every time I open a product, I will write the user story and put into App Store and say, I hate this. But I do want to mention the app that I use called How We Feel. It's a mental health app, and my friend James works there as a general manager. It's actually founded by the founder of Pinterest. And in fact, there's only one feature on the app, which is you log how you feel today. I feel happy, I feel excited, I feel overwhelmed, I feel burned. All that they do is just how you feel. But why? Because psychology shows that once people share how they feel, they actually distance themselves from how they actually feel. So then they become more calm and feel better. So I want to use an example to share to all product managers. Many times we all try to make a product very comprehensive, very complicated, lots of cool stuff, lots of AI, blockchain, and NFT, and everything in between. But many times you only need one feature, like Google only have search, right? YouTube only have watch your videos. You only need one feature to make a great product.
That's a super nice start. Yeah, we don't need to pack every product with tons of features. And another question that I have for you, something unusual that people cannot find about Anya online.
My husband is a chef, and he used to work for Michelin star restaurant. So that's why I have my choppy face. So don't blame me.
Blame your
And I
husband.
have a cat who is 18 years old. You equal to humans 80 years old. The age is really old, grumpy grandpa. And maybe one thing I'll share is that later on, maybe in the end, I will keep a story in the end. But in fact, people think that, Anya, you have been working for this big tech company. In fact, at one point of my career, I have 6 months that I out of college and doesn't have job, and I running around, submit over thousands of customized resume without ChatGPT at the time. And then reach out, calling people waiting outside the building. Once people come out, I send them my resumes. I put together a business plan and pitch a company to get my first job. I will leave the long story in the end, but everyone has up and down. It looks great behind the front of others. Behind the thing is a lot of hard work.
I'd love to go deep into that later down the show, if you don't mind. I think it's a very interesting story, sharing the struggles before the success. The success always shine brighter. And just one last question for you. I'm curious to know, if you've never stumbled in product management, what would you be doing today?
Actually my first job was a reporter, and I love it. And many times people say, you have something that's totally irrelevant to your career now. In fact, I found that my first job as a reporter was extremely helpful because it helped me to not be afraid of future. Being a product manager, you are building the future. Like, how does Steve know that iPhones will be popular for people. He probably doesn't know, right? How do we imagine a world with ChatGPT? We didn't know 5 years ago. So a great product manager are someone who build the future. And not be afraid of unknown was a skill set I picked up when I was a reporter. And it actually was helpful for me throughout the last 15 years of leading product team and being product manager, because your only way to create a future is you are not afraid and really think about what's next, and then your product impacting the world and to the level that you cannot imagine.
Inspiring. And I guess also helpful in terms of narratives, being able to speak up to others. So let's get started. First, for everyone that doesn't know Anya Cheng, who are you? Who is Anya? Can you describe a little bit for our audience what has been your journey so far?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I started AI companies 2 years ago. We use AI to pick clothes for men. The company called Taelor, Taeoor. And so with a monthly fee in the US, you can pay a fee and then you get AI to pick clothes for you. But you also get real clothes. We'll send the real clothes to you and you wear for a couple weeks. And there will be like say $100 get you a 10-hour clothes to wear per month. You wear for a couple weeks, you buy what you love, and you send back the dirty clothes back to our warehouse here in the Bay Area. We wash them and send to other people. And at the same time, you get next shipments right away, like your Netflix for outfit. And no more shopping, no more laundry. So for people, on the one hand, you get someone to pick clothes for you with a styling service. We use AI to pick the clothes. In the end, the human stylist to make final decisions and to make sure the outfit is perfect. And on the other hand, if you end up love something, you are buying something that's a lot cheaper because it's secondhand, but it still looks like new. Most of the clothes only being worn for 1 to 3 times before it gets sold. And on the other hand, we help on sustainability. Today, 30% of clothes go directly from factory to landfill. It's a serious problem in the world. And instead of burning those clothes, we now helping those brands to find a new outlet to reach out to customers by styling those customers. And so we can reduce the carbon emission, which today 10% of carbon emission in the world are from fast fashion alone. Yeah, and before that, like I mentioned, I helped build Facebook shopping. I was head of product marketing for Facebook connectivity Wi-Fi. So we brought internet to countries that does not have internet. Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. And I was head of product at eBay, where Mexico and South Africa was our big market. So I travel around to those cities a lot. I have to say that I really, really love Spain. The food, it was amazing. Both Madrid and the stuff is really good. But I haven't been in Lisbon before, so I'm excited to visit Lisbon next time.
I'm looking forward for you to visit us. And it's a shame we don't have a service like Tailor in Portugal. I always wear the same clothes. I think I could benefit from having a company to have fashion suggestions on clothes that I can just rotate as a subscription. Sounds like a good idea.
Next time when you come to like South by Southwest or TechCrunch or those conference, come to Silicon Valley to visit, do not bring dirty clothes home to wash.
I don't need.
Yeah, you order, going to a hotel, you get ready, wear that for a couple of weeks. Then you go home and you can bring more Godiva, Coach, and all kinds of the souvenirs that you like.
I can just rent and don't need to carry heavy luggage with me. And tell me a little bit, Anya, how was this transition from the corporate product world to becoming an entrepreneur? What led you to make this transition?
Yeah, so when I was working for Meta and eBay, I was like woman leader in a tech company with quite a little peer who looks like my background. So was as an immigrant from Taiwan, as a woman in tech who didn't come from engineering background. So I felt a little bit imposter syndrome. I want to look great. I want to feel confidence. So I tried some subscription boxes like Stitch Fix. You can buy, you have to buy before you can wear. So they style you, but it's just like traditional e-commerce plus styling service. And I didn't want to own that much stuff. We all know nowadays getting rid of stuff from your And then I also tried some rental company. There are 2 public companies in the U.S. The company that rent the runway newly by Urban Outfitters, which is a profitable unicorn in just 4 years, or more. The 3rd largest women's rental company who we just partnered for Valentine's Day. And together we go in corporate, so then corporate can buy both women's and men's clothing rental service for their employee as a perk. But after I tried those rental company, I realized that no one picking for me, so I have to go through thousands of garments. There was a aha moment. I realized most of fashion company are designed a product for people who are into fashion. Not for people like me. I just want to get ready for the day and be successful. So I start with the product 101, which is research, find out who is your persona. So I was researching like who will be hating shopping, hate laundry, very purpose-driven, goal-driven, practical, need to look good, but not into fashion. Turn out they are guys, single guys, sales, recruiter, pastor, professor, probably podcasters. And turn out that I was intended to create my own closet, but end up becoming a menswear business.
Once you found the personas for your target, your elite target. So you really did apply product management in the development of this company of yours.
For sure. We start with MVP, minimum viable product. So we launch a landing page and we just ask people who will be interested, give us your email. And then I got the email from a guy called Michael. He's like, hey, I have been on the wait list for months. Can you please bump me up the wait list? And I ignored him because I thought he must be a scam. Like we were just nobody. We don't even have any clothes, no warehouse, no team. It's just a landing page. Why would someone want me to bump him up? And then a month after, just a few days before Christmas, I got a phone call. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm real estate agent in San Diego. I was like, again, this guy's a scam. It's nonstop. And then come off the phone, I went to the database and look at the wait lister. Wow, indeed, we have a guy called Michael. So in fact, Michael thought we are too popular. That's why he was on the wait list for months. But we were just have nothing and not ready to serve a customer. So then I emailed Michael. I said, yes, we are ready for the service. I went to the department store at Macy's, bought a whole bunch of clothes during Christmas sale, went to the post office, put into the post office box and shipped it to him. And he became our first customer. Just like that, we test with 100 people. And we realized that we need, for example, AI styling because it's not enough stylists to style every person. We realized we probably need some features such as people can sign up, such as we have backend tools so the stylist can, before AI is up and running, the stylist can style the customers. So you help us put together what we need. And then that's where we went through fundraising and we raised $2.3 million from the early investor of Lyft, Instacart, and Spotify, and then we started a business.
Super cool. Our random, it was the start of someone that, after all, it was not a scammer. I want to go back a bit on your career so that we can give now some advices on people that may listen to us, junior and senior product managers. We have a few sections now that we want to talk about: stakeholder management, gamification, team buildings. So with that in mind.
And quick break, did you know this year's Productized conference is a big one? We're celebrating our 10th edition. For a decade, we've been bringing product managers, designers, and innovators together in Lisbon for top-tier insights, interactive workshops, and invaluable networking. This year, it's bigger and better than ever with world-class speakers and special anniversary celebrations. Don't miss your chance to be part of it October 16th to 17th in Lisbon.
Join us for the big celebration. Tickets are now available at www.productized.co. We hope to meet you there.
You've been in organizations very, very big and very known to us. How it was to manage all these stakeholder expectations while delivering on tight timelines. We know it's a huge challenge. How did you navigate in companies like Facebook or McDonald's, and what lessons can product managers apply on their teams?
It was definitely not easy. So if you found it hard, you are not alone. When I working for McDonald's, it was one of the hardest because, in fact, McDonald's is mostly done by franchisee, as you guys know. So as a product manager, your feature actually have to approve by the franchisee owner worldwide. And we were a worldwide product team. So my feature in Lisbon and France and Paris and Singapore, Nigeria, Kenya, and also in South Africa, for example, it's all over the world. And the franchisee pay for building those products. So you actually have tons of bosses who have very different points of view and needs in different countries. Mm-hmm. But one thing I found it helpful is bring the transparency. So, hey, this is my criteria to be selected into building the grow product. Number one is, for example, I made it up. They say it's focused on increasing margin. Or number two is focused on increased retention. And number three is about building a sub-feature for strategic segments such as younger generation, for example. So you openly publish your criteria on how you select product, and you encourage the team to team up. For example, I might see Lisbon people told me they want a trust and safety feature for eBay, for example. So we want to make sure when people are buying and selling stuff, they are buying a real car, not a fake car, or a real purse versus a fake purse. While I also see in Canada, they are looking for something about authentication of the pricing of the real price of the purse. These two, while they are different features, but they seem to have share a little bit common pain points, right? Then what we will do is that we will rally them, say, okay, Lisbon people, product heads, and Canada product head, why don't you guys talk? And then can you figure out something, one feature, only one feature together can benefit you and solve both pain points. And many times you are real surprised that end up the same feature can solve two very, very different pain points, because many times people use product intentionally. For example, we recently launched a feature, it's called extended rental. What it does is that when we ship out a shipment to the customer usually have to return and then wait for next shipment. In between, there's about 1 to 3 days. It's not that long, but some people just hate even 1 day without tailored clothes.
Okay.
They were like, hey, I really need something. There's no gap in between. So we launched a feature called extended rental, which they can keep one item out of the 5 items and say, okay, I will keep this one while you are shipping me the new one. And once the new one arrives, you can just send me 4 instead of 5. It sounds a great feature to solve the pain point. And that what we found out was people who use the feature are actually people who forgot to return one thing, not intentionally, they forgot. Like they put into return envelope, but they forgot one thing. So then they don't want to pay the one thing that they forgot. And then end up use the feature, say, oh, no, I'm not buying that clothes. I'm just, okay, I was just trying
Using
to...
as a benefit
Yeah.
to not pay.
So many times you'll find that people are using the feature different from what you think they are, right? So you can rally them to make sure they work together to find a feature that actually can solve both problems. And I think these are the two that most important. And number 3 will definitely back to your agile. Like you do not want a backlog that's 6 months long. You back to your agile and Scrum. Always be running what's most important on top of a Scrum. And make sure you are doing well in your backlog grooming and sprint planning. Right? In grooming, you guys all know, like in grooming, it's almost like you go to a store and ask for, okay, how much is the dinner sandwich? Oh, it's $10. How much is the tea? Oh, the tea is $5. Okay, I only have $13, so I can only buy the sandwich, right? And then I only have $13 is sprint planning. Sprint planning is to know how much money you actually have, how much time, velocity you actually have. So many times if you are not doing well in the stakeholder management, it's because you didn't do well on the grooming because you were not clear exactly what you are buying. You didn't ask the right question. Is it spicy? Is it comes with chili? Is it comes with avocado? Right? And then if you are always delayed because you are not doing a great job in sprint planning, which is, okay, I only have $10, $13, I can only buy a sandwich, not a green tea. So, and then, of course, then doing the retro, then helping the team to know like what's the best way to do for the pick one feature, just one thing, not feature, one thing that you want to improve for the next time and just only one thing. So I think all of this can help. It's not easy, but that's why you are a product manager.
Exactly. And something that doesn't seem super easy is these companies, from the outside at least, they seem super agile. They adapt very quickly to change. McDonald's supply chains, Facebook always testing every other week in different countries, new features. So they still have a lot of agility despite being super big companies. And like you said, you need to coordinate with people from many different locations with many different needs. Seems chaotic. How do you are able to keep this autonomy? Do you felt you had your autonomy to be product manager taking decisions whilst you have to align so many different stakeholders from many different parts? First question, how do you do that? And another one is, how do you stick with the vision across so many different locations, a shared vision of a group? What are your insights from the inside?
Yeah, I will answer the second one first for product vision. How would you make sure product vision is close? It's actually a common practice. You actually launch a deck called product vision. So eBay, for example, at that time, what they found was there are, number one, the company want to go more verticalized. So what does it mean is that the company realized that they can be doing better for example, for cars specifically, or for example, for certain home and garden specifically, or collectible specifically, certain vertical. So on the one hand, you probably have something that you want the whole company going into. And also at the time, actually, eBay already recognized chat as interface. Even without ChatGPT, they already think chat is the future for all of e-commerce. So they also want worldwide, every product manager in different country actually focus on that future. In addition, they also recognize that every country, they are also working on something very similar at the moment. For example, improving trust and safety. When people buying something secondhand from your neighbors or random people on the side, they don't want them to be scammed, or they don't want to get a fake purse that's different from what they think. So they also recognize there's a need for the building very similar but different product worldwide. And they don't want everyone to do the same thing throughout the research and just like doing the same research 10 times in different countries. So what they publish is they publish something called product vision. It's a document, 20, 30 pages. Basically, they already done the research for a lot of trust and safety things. So this is a common ground of insight and research that every product manager can use if they are building something for trust and safety. So then they save them at least half of their time. They also have published the trend that they see and best practice on, for example, chat as interface. They see WeChat are using that very well for in China. They see Lyft using that. They see Uber using that. They already assembling all kind of best practice related to the trend and identify the trend and send it to all the product manager. So then globally, it can be seamlessly on, hey, everyone is doing something similar, but still keeping the autonomy country by country. They can build their own feature. So that's something that actually have real practice that eBay does very well. On the first questions on how much autonomy you have, it really depends on the company. I have to say I have a lot less autonomy in McDonald's and a lot more in Meta, for example. But if you are somewhere that you don't have a lot of autonomy or have a lot of autonomy, don't feel sad, because when you focus on problem, you become problem. When you focus on solution, you become solution. People constantly told me like, oh, Anya, it's amazing that at Meta, for example, everyone is very flat. So everyone has a point of view, right? So you don't have top down. There's no VP say what, that everyone has a voice. That's amazing. That's the best work environment I want to work for. But do you know what that really means? That means any feature you launch, you need to get approved by the intern that is 10 years younger than you. Because it's a flat organization, everyone voice
Pick your poison, right? Pick your poison.
Yeah, be careful of what you wish for, right? So yes, you probably have the top down, but you only need to convince one person, which is a VP of the company. Or you like the flat organization, which everyone has a say. So you have to make
justify
sure that you
all the
convince
decisions and
every single one on the team, including the intern, right? So the great grass is always greener on the other side. You know, life is not perfect. So venting to your cat and your husband and wife, then moving on. You know, there's always good in something in some company, bad in something in some company. So I have to say that some company don't have like, Meta have a lot of autonomy, but at the same time, the product manager owns the P&L, which means if, for example, for advertising, there's not a lot of advertising dollar, the product manager will get fired. But product manager is not sales. Yes, product manager is not sales. But product manager own the P&L. That's why you have autonomy. You can do whatever you like as long as you hit the P&L.
commit with the P&L that
or
you
like
are.
retention or engagement, number of visits and visitors. Yeah, if product manager does not hit the metric, you are fired. And how long the time you have 4 months. Every product manager have more 4 months because the reviewing cycle is every 6 months. And the first month, you are still saying out your OKR and the goal. And the last month, everyone is ready for Christmas vacation. Everyone is gone. And also the last month, you are all preparing for the report to help you to prove that you make an impact. So the reality, you have 3-4 months to really hit the metrics or you're fired. So would you like to be somewhere that has little autonomy, but you will probably never get fired because the franchisee pay you to do those things? Or you rather to be on the side, you have a lot of autonomy, but you also have to be accountable for what you do and always be stressful, good and bad, and depends on who are you and what kind of environment you like.
Yeah, and be careful what you wish for, like you said. Which
Yeah.
one seems more stressful to you, having your own company now with Taelor, or working at a high-stakes environment like Facebook?
Oh, being a founder is 10 times harder than working for Facebook.
Being a founder,
I think so. Again, it's different. People ask me what's like being a founder because many product manager became founder, right? Because being a founder is a little bit like product manager. So think of last 10 years of your career, what you love most, what you love least. And that feeling is crammed into a 10 months time as a startup founder. You have as exciting time as you were while doing your career, the top time, as was the lowest time of your career as well. So that's kind of feel like startup founder is cramping a lot of feeling into a very short period of time. So you might feel amazingly rewarding, but at the same time, you just go to a travel commerce and people may not even want to talk to you. When I was in Meta, people took my business card. They always want to talk to me. Either they want to get into the company, they are curious about the company, or they want to do business with the company. But being a startup founder, you don't have the car anymore. People look at your car, Taelor, who's Taelor? Nobody. Okay, thank you. They turn around and talk to another Chamber of Commerce member who is a IPO company founder, right? So at the beginning, I felt like it's sad that you see the reality, you get into the cutthroat, that you realize no one cares. You are a small potato. No one cares about you anymore. You are not head of product of a big company anymore. But at the same time, I realize it's a blessing because almost like probably rich people suddenly become not rich. You realize who is your friend or who are not your friends. And it really helped me to also even more appreciate for people who helped me along the journey. So if you're not in big companies, and don't worry, and it's a blessing.
Let's shift gears a little bit now. I want to go into the gamification part of it because you have tons of experience in it. And I know it has become more of a buzzword recently in product development, but you've used effectively in your career gamification since the Facebook shopping experience, now Taelor sustainability. So what is your approach in applying gamification in the user journey?
Yeah, I think first of all, make sure you know why you're doing what you do, right? So not just do it because you think I want it, right? So the example, which is not gamification, but is exactly what I just mentioned. We be careful on why you do what you do. Like at eBay, we found there's an insight, which is people tend to, they like listing is one key metric, number of listing. We want more people listing the product. The more seller, the more buyer, right? So at that time, although there wasn't Gen AI, but AI was popular. So we decided we want a feature for AI. Almost like in this case, like how about gamification, where to put it? We want a feature for AI. So we launched a feature that you can snap a picture of an item. AI will write everything for you. And it sounds great. But after we launch a feature, no one used it. Why? Because we realized that the seller, they really care about what they are selling. Because either they are emotionally attached to a product or they really want to make money from the product. So they're always willing to actually spend time to make sure the listing is perfect. So just be careful on what feature are you building. Or the example for Amazon, they want to launch AI for their driver. And so then they put into AI into the car. So then they hope the AI can recognize a person and turn on light when the driver in the truck and needing the light. But turn out that the AI is there, but when the AI recognizes people are during the daytime because the AI can see, so then the light is on, but the driver doesn't need the light. And then in the evening, the light is not there, so the AI couldn't see the driver, and so AI doesn't turn on the light, which was needed, right? So just be very careful on why you need it. Like, does it really need gamification? And if so, what problem are you solving? And what's the persona and why the problem is important enough? And another thing is a problem important enough? For example, at Target, they launch a feature that because mom tend to go to store and go home realize I forgot one thing in the store, right? So how about you will never forget one thing? So before you go to a store, you put down your shopping list. And then when you go to a store, the app became an in-store GPS. go right, go left. You can never forget one thing. And also, while you go to certain location, the AR, VR will pop out. It will be amazing. You can see a commercial. You can AR, VR showing the item in your home. It's perfect. Launch a feature, no one use it. Why? Because mom, they are going the store to get lost. They like to running around the store. They like go shopping and get away from their noisy kids. So it's their happy places. They don't want to have using the store GPS. They like to go there to get lost. And if they forget one thing, perfect. Then they have an excuse to go back to a store and shop again. Right? So, but answer your question on the gamifications, I think that it really thinks that you have to think about like who is the user. If your users are people who are first-time users, and that's why you want them to actually open an account, or they are repeat user, you want to make them to improve their engagements. And so, for example, at Meta, we know that there's some people that want to use Wi-Fi, but they don't want to pay. So we allow them to actually play some game as an advertising model in order for them familiar with certain brand, but a way for like doing almost like a little bit gamification thing. Or in Taelor, we help people to see different clothing items, so turn left, turn right. Not exactly gamification, but by doing so, you allow them feel like shopping isn't that bad, and then they give us some point of view on what they like, and this is some few of stuff that we use. Or at Target, we realize the mom want to get lost, so how about bring the environment online so mom can use shoppable Instagram, so they can actually see what other mom are shopping. So a little bit more like gamification. They can be inspired and having fun and while they are back at home, but bring the in-store value prop onto their digital products.
Yeah, product management, we always try to avoid these, like building features no one wants. You just gave a few examples, like we ended up building a very cool product, solution that no one actually needed. And even in big companies like eBay and the ones that you were saying, we still do some features that ended up not being needed. So how do you strike this balance between research and validating there's actually a need, and the solution we draw is also the solution they need? Or let's just not waste more time in research and let's just ship it and see how it goes. How do you see this balance?
I think it depends on how big the feature, right? So if you are building something that you pretty much know, you feel like, hey, this is just a strong pain point. There's always either you are gaining something or you get rid of pain point, right? You are either making money or you prevent losing money, right? You are preventing losing the engagement, or you are adding more growth to the product. So it depends on what's the return. And also depends on how for sure you know the product feature is, right? So for example, at Taelor, we know that our customers, and we realize that our first time users, they are probably not. We interview every customers. We talk to every customer who churn, they get the time to book the time with me. Through Zoom, half an hour with me to tell me why they decide to not to use the product anymore. And for example, we found out that some people, especially for new user, they are not familiar with our service. And when they land on our site, it doesn't describe our service very well, so they end up not signed up right away. And in some scenario, we know that, okay, we just need to change your copy. Probably our hypothesis is that if they are a first-time user, they need more experience about what styling means, what's the rental means. Oh, rental means you don't have to buy right away, means that you can wear different things every week, you can try something new. Styling means that then you can save time, right? So some of these we know that we can do it, then we do it right away. While some of these we think the problem is big but not clear enough how people use it. Many times what we do is we build a small feature, right? So for example, our AI styling. Today you come to our site, you actually can interact with AI. What should I wear tomorrow? And we don't know how people will use the feature, so we build something bare minimum so that we can use it for research. So you tell me, I build bare minimum, so you can tell me how would you use it, why would you use it, and what would you do? So many times, it depends, but I think it depends on how much effort you need for building the future and how certain that you know the current solution. But always good to know what hypothesis you have behind the feature. right? Because you are not building a feature, you are building a MVP to validate.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Right. For example, for Rent the Runway, when they start a company, a women's rental company, their hypothesis is people rent dress. So the MVP is not an app, it's not a website, it's not a landing page, it's not even they buy a few clothes. No, none of them. They just screenshot a couple of dress from department store, send an email to a group of college kids who are going a party and say, would you like to rent dress? Because if no one responds, say, yes, I'll be interested in renting dress, there's no other business. They don't have to build AI. They don't have to buy clothes. They don't have to build a site. So again, end of day is about how big the product you need and how much research you need before you can build something that validate your hypothesis.
Got it. Let's talk now about team building, especially in startups. You're a mentor at 500 startups and have first-hand experience with the challenge of scaling these teams. What's been your approach to hiring, retaining top talent? Any thoughts on it?
I think so. When you are hiring the top talent, I think the definition of top is very, very different from company, team by team, situation by situation. You always want to hire the top talent, but the top is very, very different in different places. And you are assembling a championship team, not an all-star team. If you watch an NBA, the all-star team is everyone is all-star. But if you look at their game sucks. Besides, yes, you see Curry and LeBron. I love those faces. But then it's a lot better in championship team, where in championship team, probably only one guy you recognize it. The rest of people you don't. But the game is amazing, right? So probably not this year's Super Bowl, but usually the game is amazing on the championship team, right? Because why? Because they are team. There's a three-pointer, there's assist, there's someone behind, there's defense. It depends on how you build a team. For example, when I was at eBay, we have a guy, we have to hire 3 product lead. And at that time, I have one guy who is really, really good in growth. He came from SEO background. He knows growth very well, but he is more growth background versus traditional product background. Then I have second guy who came from banking industry, has nothing to do with product management, but he loved numbers. He loved numbers. He loved how to make money. He's really, really good in making money. And then so we assign him to do our monetization product, the advertising product, which people tend to hate. So when I hired the third guy or the woman, I was thinking we need someone who is a lot more creative. Because these first 2, they are growth hacker or they are the commission guy, like commercial guy. So we need someone who is a lot more creative so we can balance the team, make sure they are working well together. So I think when you are hiring team, just like Moneyball, you don't have to hire everyone who is superstar on the paper, but definitely think about how can 1 + 1 more than 2, the person can come in and elevate the team because the skill set is needed for the team. And the team, including yourself. So I usually hire people who have different background from me, who are better than me, because then including myself, like I can help the team on some stuff, but I might have blind spot because I came from data science background, I came from marketing background, so I might have blind spot. So I always hire someone who has different background. And the third guy we hire end up is Mexican, so he's perfect and helping us on Latin American product as well.
So you don't hire someone, you hire someone for some context.
Exactly.
Always with a context. And how do you ensure, because you've been in these very fast-paced growth companies, how can you remain aligned and motivated when so many things are breaking apart while you're shipping the boat? How do you keep a team together?
Yeah, it's not easy. Earlier in my career, I was spending a lot of time on thinking, motivating the team, rally the team. But one day my manager told me one thing, is that the team will only be truly motivated and rally if they succeed, right? So end of day, if your product is good, everyone is happy. Your product sucks, everyone is not happy. However, you also have to recognize it at Meta or eBay. We actually have a golden rule, which is if everyone is happy while building the product, then the product sucks. Why? Because everyone thinks the same. Then you don't have diverse points of view. You didn't debate. You didn't think through. Because your customers are not like you. Your customers are usually diverse, are not very single-minded. So if the whole experience is perfect and no one have any argument or debate, then probably your product is not going to be great. So balance the two, like thinking of how the true thing is not about people who are drinking and happy together. It's actually about that people are winning together. When family is poor and usually everything falls apart in movies, right? So while everything is great, then everybody cheering out and happy for each
It's
other.
good to have these healthy tensions and disagreements
Exactly.
to
It's
get to a
good to
better
have the
place.
healthy tension during the time you're building product, but also extremely important, keep your eyes on the winning, because once your product is successful, people are a lot happier and everybody has promotion, everybody get the revenue coming from the customer. So keep your eyes on that. In terms of team buildings, I think it's just important to understand what people's true motivation. Everyone is different. Not everyone actually want to get promotion. Not everyone want to get more salary. Some people like work on innovation stuff. Some people like to have an opportunity to work with Uber, Google, Facebook. Some people really like to chill. Some people really like to make sure the impact is being seen. Some people want to learn how to do a presentation well. Some people want to have a visibility to top leadership. Some people like to talk to the customer and like to go on field trip to experience and learn about customer's journey. Like everyone actually have very different motivation. So if you pay attention to the details, you will know how you can reward them and make sure to help them to be happier doing their job.
And what about product strategy when you are dealing with massive organizations or startups? Are there any difference the way these companies approach product strategy? And for any product manager listening to us, how can then they adapt to it? How can they prepare? If I'm going to a startup, this is the way usually product strategy is done. If I'm going to a massive organization, how this is done?
No, I think the strategy process is the same, but the execution could be different, but the strategy is the same. How the strategy is easy. For example, in the example that I gave, Target. Target is good in store. People go to Target store, which is a competitive Walmart. And for people who are not familiar with Target, it's just a store that is like Walmart, but when you go into a store, it's always help you to like get wonder, like this looks great, looks great. You like to shop around in the store and spend a lot of time being inspired in the store. And so that's what Target store is for. So we also found that at that time when I was there, a lot of moms, they are relatively higher household income compared to Walmart. We also found that eBay has a lot more assortment and Amazon has a lot faster shippings and compared to Target. We also found at that time I was in charge of a Target tablet, which is anyone buy something on tablet, like iPad, for example, through Target's app or website will be my e-commerce revenue. So based on this information, we had to form a strategy, and we decided that strategy should be something about inspiration, because the store experience, we are known for helping people to be inspired. So the inspiration was a strategy, but what does it mean for the strategy? It means, for example, did I launch an Android app? No, I didn't, because it doesn't directly tie to a strategy. And if I only have limited time and money, which is always the case, then I only launch an iPad app. Number two, did I launch a feature called price comparison? I didn't, because Walmart might be cheaper. Why am I launching a price comparison? They compare, they know Walmart cheaper. Well, did I launch a product comparison, compare different products? No, because if they compare product, they will realize Target doesn't have as much assortment as eBay. So I didn't launch a product comparison. Did I launch a registry? In the US, people get married and you registry to say, okay, I like these 20 things from Target. Everyone pick the gift that you want to buy for me and registry. Sounds a great product because Target's audience are mom, right? Mom has a friend who are getting married. But we didn't launch. Why? Because my goal is to drive 1 million revenue per day before Thanksgiving. I can always do it next year, but not right now. It doesn't tie to my inspiration strategy. When it's not on strategy, it's not time sensitive, it's out. It's not on the roadmap. Or did I launch a feature called shoppable Instagram? Yes, absolutely. Because it's an inspiration. Shoppable Instagram bring the value prop that I have from the store into the online experience, which is needed. Did I launch a feature called revamp our current checkout and make it native so that it's easier to shop and reduce crash when doing checkout? Absolutely, because it's a table state. It's important, it's basic. It drives my e-commerce revenue. So based on the strategy, I only build 2 features for the entire year and do it very, very well. Shoppable Instagram, which is inspiration strategy. Cart and checkout revamp because it's good for my table stay for me to make money. With that 2 features, we make $1 million incremental revenue US dollar per day. Got 11 awards, including Best App of the Year on Apple. So when you have a strategy, all you need to do is focus on your value prop and focus on your table stay. And anything that's not directly tied to a strategy is off your roadmap. The strategy is for you to give trade-off, to cut through stuff that you don't need it. And for that, I think big corporate and startup is the same process for the strategy. And startup probably even more important because you have less resources and you have to be even more focused.
And it is as much as what you do and as much as what you don't do, and you choose purposefully not to do. Super good. And what advice would you give to founders that aspire to scale their startups, but they still want to remain this agility? You worked in big companies, super agile companies, and now you are a founder. When you are going to scale now the Taelor company, do you want to keep this momentum of agility, being able to change and adapt? What advice would you give to any founder like you who wants to keep agility in their companies while scaling up?
I think people want to have more control. We don't have transparency. So given transparency on stuff that you are working on, so then people will leave you alone. Once people know that, okay, you are working on this, and that's the same thing for, I told my team, I'm not looking like left and right on you, but I need you to give you weekly updates on where are you. So then it's not because I want to control what you do, it's because I don't want you to waste time. Like if you look at the line, if you look at the line going up, like so, if you are in the wrong direction, if you are going right and I actually want you to go left, the more work that you do, it's a further away from the direction I want you to go, right? Because you're going right, I'm going left, right? So it's important that constant checking on where we are. And so the same thing for startup founder, you have investor, right? So you keep investor informed on where are you going and why are you going in this? And it's also important to give people the context on, I'm doing this because why? For example, the other day, my team sent me like, this is 3 influencers we want to work with. I said, no, I hate all of them. And my team said, no, I think these are good because number 1, I picked this one because so-and-so. Number 2, I picked this because what. And when you have more context, now you maybe think something differently. So keeping the agility by also inform people what you do, but why you do it, and the context of why you make this decision. Meta, we constantly say, you cannot convince people your idea because everyone is really smart there and no one wanted to listen to each other. But you can convince other people your logic. Okay, I decide to launch this feature because we have this pain point and we have this goal. And therefore, at this journey, doing for this persona, if they do launch this feature, we will be able to increase 10% of engagement rate, right? Tell people how you get to the conclusion of that. Yeah, and it's also important that tell people why this is important. I know it sounds like nothing. There's a really small feature that no one cares. However, you told me the company has 3 objectives. Number 1 is increase revenue. And by doing so, it will impact so-and-so, therefore, it's actually unlock the revenue. And that's why I'm working on these things that looks really small, but it's actually really, really important. So everyone, please do support me and also give me the freedom to do stuff that I wanted.
I love it. You can keep the agility and autonomy as long as you increase the transparency and sharing the logic. Discuss on the logic rather than discussing on the ideas. A very good way to start wrapping up the show, actually. I could speak with you forever because you have so many good stories. From the career you had. We're just about to wrap up. I don't want to let you go, although without hearing your thoughts on the future. What you think is ahead of us for product management. So what is shaping the product management right now? How do you see this landscape changing in the next 5 years?
I think everything is about AI, and AI is all about data. So the era of algorithm is over. If you look at last 20 years, it's all about algorithm. The black box of under Google, when you search what's ranking, is behind that is algorithm. When you open Instagram and what's the news feed for you to see, behind that is algorithm. When you open Amazon, the upsell stuff to you is algorithm. But the algorithm era is over. the new era is all about AI. In the AI era, the algorithm, everyone is the same because everyone, unless you are Google, Elon Musk, or OpenAI, you are going to use their large language model. You can use probably one of them, but you are going to use one of them. You are not going to build your LLM. However, you can bring your own unique data onto the LLM as an additional layer, so you are always one step ahead. For example, at Taelor, we know customers' true preference because you pay a monthly fee. So just like when you watch your Netflix show, it's not because it's on sale. It's because you do like the show. You already pay the monthly fee, which is very different from e-commerce company that you buy or not buy is actually the price. So at Taelor, as a menswear rental company, we actually know that because you already pay a monthly fee. We also get unique feedback. Every other week you provide feedback because then you want to make sure next shipment is better. So these are unique data. We know customers, we know the professional point of view for styling because we have human professional stylists. This is our unique data. We also know the quality after wash the clothes. Because after you come back and with rental, we wash and send to other people. I know how many times these clothes can be washed before you get ripping apart, right? So these are all my unique data that no one else has. So I assembling them, putting on top of the large language model. So then as they grow, we grow, but we are always one step ahead. So I think the future of AI is actually, future is a product is AI. AI future is about data. So think about what unique know-how you have, unique data you have. How can you put them together, become a module, and building the LLM almost like worker, but you are building your module as a tool for the worker. So the worker can always use your tool to be smarter, but you always stand on top of the giant.
Hey, you're not the first person that I hear with this idea that every business will have to embrace AI. And on top of that, put their core business knowledge base so that we can still serve the customer, but with our own unique perspective on the world. Do you think now, I was just thinking while you were speaking, do you think the companies that will be able positioned to leverage now the power of AI are the ones that documented their processes, have huge knowledge base of the customer, have strong data analytics on their business, so that they can now feed into the whatever LLM it is to...
I think so, but I don't think it definitely have to be knowledge based. I'm not sure that's the right word to describe it when I say it's data. So for example, it could be in our case, it's a styling data. This clothes pair with that clothes. Data points of these two pair outfit together, or the data point of these 5 clothes go out together as one shipment to the customer because it can mismatch to be a 3 outfits. Right. And the data of customers' feedback, customers give you 5 stars, say this, I really like this shipment. That's the data point. So I think it's less about specific knowledge base, but it's about the data that you have. And data can come in very many forms nowadays. It can be the styling tip that my stylist write down for the customer. It can be the attribute of the clothes. It can be the number of times the clothes being washed before we decide not to rent to customers, right? So you can come in with many form, can be image, can be copy, can be just a matching of the two, or many different form, videos, but you just need to have this unique data.
And how do you see the role of product management changing now with AI coming to evolve all these companies?
Yeah, I think so. Word of product coming is, of course, everybody know about productivity things that the AI help you on productivity. But I also think that it really help the company. Almost like you are back to 20 years ago when the iPhone app just started. Right? Now everyone has one more chance to fight to see who is better. Isn't that amazing? Like back to where it just started. The same thing for AI, it just started. So you are not worse than Nike or worse than Lululemon. You're just the same. You are back to the same starting point. So it just only depends on how much time and energy you invest in. And good thing is that in the era of AI, it's actually not always about a lot of time, unless you are building fundamental model, because it's just AI application. With a simple data point, you can be a factory, but you have a great information about cycle time. You can be a small startup about therapist, but you have a great information about psychology. Right? You can just, as long as you have unique information, almost like today, building a website is very easy. You have Shopify, right? And the same thing, now you have LLM for your AI foundation. So It's a lot easier. And so focus on the problem you are solving and focus on the persona you will be serving to. Focus on hypothesis that you want to validate and focus on collecting your unique data and then test it with real customer.
Always go back to the roots, right? Product
Yeah,
management.
because they don't know unless it's like you ask your girlfriend, tomorrow Valentine's Day, where should we go for dinner? And she say, anything is fine. And you say, okay, how about we go eat pizza? She said, no, I
don't want pizza, of course.
launch a feature before someone can give you feedback. So launch it, ship it, and you will know.
Exactly. And thank you so much for being here with us today. I really like this conversation. We discussed strategy, gamification, team building. And before we wrap up, are there any projects or initiatives that you'd like to share?
Yeah, if you want to try out Taelor.style, that's Taelor.style, Taelor.style. Use for the menswear rental subscriptions or the gift cards. Or if you are corporate, wanting to send some gift to your clients overseas, so then it save time, it save the environment, and a lot more stylish. You can use a coupon code podcast one word, then you get 25% off the first month, and then also check out the gift card for your loved ones. So next time you travel to the US, no more bring dirty clothes home, where if you have friends over here, help them to have a gift that keep on giving.
I'll definitely try the next time I go to the US. To reduce on the luggage. And where can people find more about you and stay up to date with what you're doing?
Yeah, they can just reach out to me, Anya@Taelor.ai, Anya@Taelor.ai, or you can find me, Anya Cheng, on LinkedIn at Taelor's. So this is Anya Cheng from Taelor.style. Look forward to hearing from you or being connected on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much again. For our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Productized podcast and leave us a review. Follow us on social media for updates on upcoming episodes and more expert insights. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you
so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Did you know this year's Productized conference is a big one? We're celebrating our 10th edition. For a decade, we've been bringing product managers, designers, and innovators together in Lisbon for top-tier insights, interactive workshops, and invaluable networking. This year, it's bigger and better than ever with world-class speakers and special anniversary celebrations. Don't miss your chance to be part of it October 16th to 17th in Lisbon.
Join us for the big celebration. Tickets are now available at www.productized.co. We hope to meet you there.